Okay, I realize it's been a long time since I've given you an update on this, but it's working. I solved some problems that I couldn't quite figure out for a while, and of course, the last couple of years got in the way, which I'm not going to have to explain that to anybody. Anyway, let me give you a walkthrough of what you're looking at. This is the back side of the array, and as you can see, it's in the configuration at the end of the day. So like it would have died pointing the west as the sun set. And now, like I say, we're looking at the back, so your main panels are here pointing towards the sun, and this is the west facing panel to run to run the actuator. It would have retracted it all day long to keep this array pointing at the sun. Now you notice this panel is facing basically east, and I've got it still in the barn here, mocked up. You could clearly see I've got some serious cable management issues to deal with. I got to clean that all up, and I will demonstrate what happens when the sun comes up in the morning. I've got the actuator turned off right now. That's why it's not retracted towards the east, but you're going to see that in just a second, and I'll give you a quick walk around. So one of the things that was a bit of a challenge was trying to figure out how to configure this east facing panel, to where I almost mounted it on the main support down here, just have it fixed facing east all the time. But I decided I wanted to tie it into the main array to balance the weight of the west panel, so it'd be a little more balanced from a weight perspective. So I had to fiddle with how to hinge it and to where it would fold up once the as it was progressing, pulling the main panel towards the east. So I'm going to give you a demonstration here, and you can see how it'll fold up. So I'm going to just step forward and turn the actuator on, and you'll see, since it's facing the east sun, it's slow, but it's moving. There you have it. It's now facing the sun. It's later in the morning right now while I'm filming this, so earlier in the morning, when it's not here in the barn, it's out where there's no trees in the way, it will actually point further to the east to catch more sun. And just to give you a quick demonstration, here's the pump that it's going to drive. So the main panels are powering that pump. It's all just tamped together, and yes, I know I have plenty of cabling to clean up, but there it is. And if we stand here long enough, you'll see that the west panel over here will actually ooch the panel to follow the sun. I'm actually going to just rotate the table to save us time here, and you'll listen, you'll hear the actuator. So you heard it, that was re-aiming the panel towards the sun. And I don't know if you can see, I've got a little aiming post up there and one on the lower part, so you can see just a little shadow there. And I can control that with this handle. So let's see, I'd have to tilt it that way. And I can do this ever so often to keep that. And you can see my shadow has gone down just a little bit right right there. So there you have it. It's working. So the next step, I've got to take it all apart, paint the steel, and then clean up, put it all back together, clean up the cable management, and get it out in the ground and start putting water in my pond. One more thing to note, if you'll notice how I did these mounts, these are rails. I've just got them clamped right now so I can adjust the in and the out, slide the panel back and forth this way to where I get it just so it keeps pointing at the sun. And I don't know if you can see from the glare. Let's see if I can just ooch up. Yeah, it's really pointing pretty close to it. So it's all very adjustable. This one adjusts too. I've just, like I said, I've got it clamped, and then once I get it deployed in the field, just put some bolts in it to tighten that up. And there you have it. Progress as promised, just not very timely. Okay, this is a quick crude drawing of the actuator and its corresponding solar panels set up. You see here's the actuator in the center. This is the west facing panel and the east facing panel, and basically you see how they're wired in opposition to each other, because this panel you want it to retract the actuator, and this one you want it to extend the actuator to move the main array around. The problem with this is each of these panels have a thing in it called a bypass diode, and for normal use of these panels, it's something you do want. So, and there's plenty of videos that will explain all about the diodes, but effectively when this panel's in the shade, the westbound panel is driving the actuator, the bypass diode allows this to become a short and your current flows through here, and then the actuator doesn't get any power, so it's a higher resistance. So what I ended up having to do was clip the bypass diodes in both of these panels, and then this thing worked perfectly. It's a very simple solution, keeps this project very simple. There's probably 100 different ways of adding relays or doing all kinds of things, but we were trying to do this simply, and that took care of it. So just something to keep in mind should you choose to build one of these.